Hi, good morning. We are doing Artist Trading Card Workshop, written by Bernie Berlin. I think this is day or project 16 because I remember to number it last week. I think I've got the numbers right. It doesn't really matter, but the next one we're doing is embossing scraps. But I was asked to kind of fast forward a couple of weeks just so that people can have all the stuff that they want ready for the next one. So I'm just gonna skip to next week's basically. It says resin fresco, but it's using something called UT, ultra thick embossing powder, which is like embossing powder but bigger granules basically. You can get that. I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to use embossing powder. I'm not going to go out and buy UT basically. So this one's really simple. It's just the embossing ink pad, which I used the Versamark last time. Ultra thick embossing powder. If you want to get it, go for it. That's fine. You need a heat gun obviously to set that anyway. Gesso, acrylic paint and a brush. So pretty basic for next week if you've got the embossing powder and that. This one as well is using the same ultra thick embossing powder, so you might want to get it. It's up to you. Nothing's fancy here. Again, the embossing ink pad like the Versamark. You can get other brands. And a large rubber stamp because you stamp onto if you've got a big red rubber stamp, ideal. All right, so that's that one. And just the usual paint and that kind of thing. And then the one after that, so I'll make this the last one. Now this one goes really, I don't know if you can see, they're using a melting pot and things like that to pour the ultra thick embossing powder into rubber molds and things like that. Yeah, and this one also is using mica. So again, it's something I don't have. I think if I bought a pack of it, I'd never use it all apart from doing this, I guess. So this is where my thick plastic's going to come in. I think it'll work. I'm going to do a workaround on this one because they actually pour the ultra thick embossing powder onto the mica. And basically what you're after is a translucent top layer with things embedded in it, and then you stamp on the back of, let me just show you the next page. You then stamp, I don't know what you're seeing, yeah, there. You stamp on the back of your see-through thing that you've made. I think I'm going to find a workaround for it. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but it's going to be just ordinary embossing powder. I mean, I have got silicone molds and stuff like that, but I don't want everybody to have to go out and buy them because it's just, it's something you might only use one of. I've got the metal repair tape as well, which is like a thick aluminium tape, but that's because I did another project with Anne-Marie Jenkins. So, but again, I don't want you to have all this stuff, so leave it with me. I'm going to try a workaround on that one. If you want to go ahead and get mica and the metal repair tape, it's in a box behind me, otherwise I'd show you, and a silicone mold, then go for it. I mean, if you've got the hot pot, use that. I haven't got that stuff, so, and it, as I say, all it is to make the metal repair tape is to make a well for the ultra thick embossing powder to be tipped into where you've embedded stuff. Again, I think I'm going to work around that one. And then the next one after that, this is the last one I'll show you. This is working on fabric, so if you've got some fabric pens, crayons, I'm probably going to use my Inktense ones. You could try oil pastels if you want, but basically we're going to be tracing onto calico, so just a piece of cotton. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you've got a piece of carbon paper, the blue transfer paper stuff, carbon, you know what I mean. If you learned to type in the year I did, it's what we used to use for copies. So yeah, you need an image, some calico cotton if you've got it, and then you draw the image, you colour it in, and then this is you fuse it to felt, so we don't need card for this one, but you make a felt ATC for that one. All right, so any questions, just drop it in the comments and I'll see if I can get back to you. But as I say, it's just it's getting more and more specialist as we go on. There's more and more things. I mean, this one we're going to be able to do, it's fused fibres, but if you've got that thin tape that you turn up hems with, it'll be fine. You don't have to go out and buy I mean, obviously I've got things like fusing fusible web and stuff like that, so but if you haven't got it, again, you know, and then it goes hand stitching. So yeah, it does get more as it goes on, but what I'll do is I'll try and keep you in advance so you can get this stuff. All right, so this week we're embossing scraps. Can't see what you can see because the sun's come out. Oh, there we are. Right, okay, so for this one you just need paper scraps, a glue stick, a brayer, embossing powder and a heat gun. Everyone has scraps laying around. Instead of throwing them in the trash, create unusual backgrounds with them. This technique provides an effect that's reminiscent of mortar between cracks, or of a rich patina that has snuck in cracks and crevices over time. Embossing powder comes in many colours and different textures that, when melted, create the effect of rust, shiny metal, opalescent pearl or sparkly glitter. So if you've got a selection, I've got a few but not that many, but yeah, anyway, so the first step, glue down random scraps of paper using a glue stick. Be liberal with the glue. You want it to ooze out a bit because it's the glue that's going to hold on to the embossing powder basically. Okay, and then brayer the pieces down. She said she likes to use lots of pieces so you get a real yeah, you get all that kind of effect of all the cracks and that. So cover the card with embossing powder and tap off the excess. The powder will stick to the gluey edges. Melt the powder with a heat gun. I think that's it for this one. Yeah, that's it for this one. And then obviously put on your images. Do what you like with it, really. So I'm going to try and do lots of little patchworky bits. It's getting it to ooze out that's going to be the trick. I think if you kind of miss, you know, if you're not getting enough oozing out to hold on to the powder, I don't see why you couldn't go in with a glue pen or something and then add more for the powder to stick to. So I think this one's going to be quite easy. I'm saying that, I don't know, it might not be. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful for those that wanted a bit of a heads up of what's coming up. So I got my usual 3 cards. Excuse me for yawning, sorry. The cat had me up at 5:15 this morning, very nicely throwing up in my shoe. You needed to know that, didn't you? I know. Right, so I've just got some scraps here. It's the book page that I've been just slapping stuff on, basically. So I'm just going to rip these up and decorate all 3 of my... I haven't got any images out, I just thought of that. These are mixed media cards. I'm just going to decorate all 3 in a really patchworky style. Hopefully I'm going to get the glue to ease out, squeeze out. I've got a copper embossing powder which I got from the charity shop for 20p, so that was a bit of a bargain. I've also got, let me grab the others, what else have I got? I've got a red one. I've got this nice verdigris green one as well. That might look quite good. Yeah, that'll do. So yeah, I've got this little, I very cleverly deposited them in there but didn't write down what they were. I don't know if they're translucent or not. So well done, Susan. So we'll have those out. Yeah, so what I'm talking about with you can get embossing ink in a pen like that. Versamark do a pen one as well. I thought I had one of those, but it's not there. Yeah, so you can, if you're not getting enough glue squeezing out, you could, in theory, go around with that pen where the cracks are and then put your embossing powder on, because that will hold it basically. Alternatively, a Sakura Quickie glue pen. I don't even know if this works anymore, I'll be honest with you. I've had those for many years from when I had my shop. 16 years ago, so if they work it'll be amazing. But that's the kind of thing that you could use if you wanted to. I think that's all the talking I need to do. I'm gonna do my scrappy patchworky thing. I might need, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll do them one at a time, because I don't want the glue to dry, because it's got to hold on to the embossing powder. So I shall do that. I shall do all three on fast forward, and then we'll come back and do the melty bit. All right, need that there for the embossing powder. You guys go there. Are you ready? Here we go. Right, okay. Lots of scraps everywhere. Yeah, I thought I'd try a die cut. I thought that might be quite interesting. I mean, obviously you can fill the whole thing. Looking at the example, I don't know why I pulled out that book page. Looking at the example in the box there, but in the book. Yeah, I don't know if she left lots of gaps or not, but I thought it would be fun to try that. So, yeah, anyway, this is my little thing. I might do is bring you down a bit. I love watching embossing, so you might too. So, gosh, yeah, you're really high. Bear with me. Sorry if that was too far away. I think you got a gist of what I was up to anyway. Right, yeah, mind your ears. That bit there does not. That bit there does not want to melt. I don't know why. But yeah, that's worked really well. Sorry, let me just get the shine. It's really hot. So yeah, I think you can choose whether you want to leave great big gaps. And by rolling over, it's dragged some of the glue down here. As you can see, sorry, just there. It's dragged the glue down, which has given it all. Yeah, it's really cool. Right, I'll put you on fast forward. I'm going to try and melt those bits because that's bugging me. It's very, I don't know if you can see, yeah, look, the dull bit there. So I'm going to try a bit further, longer on those, and I'll melt the other two with you. But I'll put you on a bit of fast forward, otherwise it's a little bit boring, isn't it? Right, okay. I think that one's all melted. Sorry, I'm dragging it into me again, aren't I? Yeah, that one's all melted. That one's gone all right as well. So it's only just that one there, and it was those two bits there. And I don't know. Maybe what I need to do is ow, Matt's really hot. Oh, I think I might pause you for a bit while that cools down under there because it's rather warm. I'll be back in a tick. Right, it's finally cooled down. I didn't realise it got that hot actually. I picked out some images. I got a little red bird for this one. I got a flower for that one, and then I got one of my drawn mushrooms for that one. I'm going to tilt you forward because I'm going to keep going off screen otherwise. Yeah, so I'm just going to stick them down now. You know, images and that and words are totally optional. You do not have to do any of this, but to me it just gives it that finishing touch. So I'm going to do it. I will put you on fast forward, and yeah, here we go. Right, there we are. That's all 3 done. That does not want to stick. It's a bit of a big ask. The Posca pen I had to use over the embossing powder, so it wasn't going to stick otherwise. So, it wasn't going to mark otherwise, just with a pip pen. So, just give them the usual black edge. I like that. Yeah, it's optional extra, of course. Overhanging bit there. I might add some doodling once the camera's shut down, so you'll see it in the final images anyway. So there we are. Yeah, so it's all about sort of kind of making a patchwork with paper, card, and leaving some nice gaps so that you can get in there with the embossing powder and yeah, make kind of a patchworky kind of thing. They're cool. I like them. Yeah, I do like them a lot. It's a very nice effect. Right, see you next week. Bye.